389.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in this struggle and the body, Spirit from the struggle and the power, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the body, gathered here in this struggle and the body, Spirit from the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near.
We gather this morning, if I can get the microphone set. We gather this morning to root ourselves, to find the grounding that comes from strong roots, to take in the nutrients from deep in dark soil, to offer care and strength. If you come this morning like an oak, strong, stable, mature, taproot digging deep into the earth, you are welcome here, your wisdom a guide. If you come like a cottonwood, your roots vast and expansive, a multitude winding their way, you are welcome here, your strength empowers others. If you come like a sycamore, your heart root a perfect balance with the soil and earth around you, a perfect equilibrium, you are welcome here. Your stability steadies. If you come like an aspen, through your roots a grouping, a plethora, offering an abundance of life, you are welcome here. Your generosity shines. If you come like a redwood, towering and ancient, roots embedded, entwined, strengthened by those around you, you are welcome here. Your vulnerability invites humility. If you come like new growth, trusting that your roots will know what to do, and yet tentative and green, you are welcome here. We can hold doubt and hesitancy together. If you come, branches burned and charred, aching for water and uncertain of the future, needing encouragement, you are welcome here. We will remind you that your roots contain sustenance still. If these are all you and more, you are welcome here. May we each find what we need in the rooting. Let us light our chalice. Our chalice, symbol of this rootedness, grounded, balanced, strengthened. May this flame remind us of the ancestral roots of our faith, the ever-transforming nature of life itself. May we be more courageous, wise, ever learning through our being here. Welcome.
Yes, we are. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ogden. My name's Marilyn, and I'm glad to be your worship assistant today. This is a welcoming, inclusive place where diversity of thought is encouraged, sought, and appreciated. It doesn't matter who you love or how you identify yourself. We come here because we want to think for ourselves and explore with others. We ask questions, value the exchange of ideas and the depth that can come from being in community. Today, we celebrate membership here at UUCO and in Unitarian Universalism more broadly. For those of you who are newcomers to the congregation, welcome to this celebration, a tradition that is a bit different for Unitarian Universalists, since it will not include a declaration of belief, but rather a covenant to support one another in our individual and collective journeys. During our membership ceremony, current members, you will be invited to re-up, if you will, to remember your connection to this community and to this faith. If you've been attending or participating and find that you're ready to join the congregation, you'll be given an opportunity to make a more formal commitment to the church by becoming a member. Wherever you find yourself in your connection to this community, welcome. Newcomers, we encourage you to fill out a newcomer card that you'll find in the pews. Put it in the offering basket when it comes by later on in the service. And please stay and chat with us after the service. If you're joining us online, please fill out the newcomer card online. And if you haven't already, don't forget to put your phones in worship mode. The presence of each and every one of you adds to the atmosphere, and we're glad you're here. Welcome.
I invite you to join me in a moment of stillness and meditation together. Let's take a few calming breaths. And with each breath, feel your body become just a little bit heavier, more grounded. I invite you to feel grounded literally. Like to feel whatever is connecting you to the floor and to the earth beneath it. Your feet or the chair in between you and the ground. If you're online and at home, maybe you're sitting on the floor, whatever it is that's connecting you to the earth. And I invite you to imagine yourself as a plant or a tree, rooted to the earth. Imagine whatever kinds of roots you might have spreading into the earth below you. And picture yourself sustained by those roots. As we sit for a few moments of stillness, I invite you to feel grounded and calm in your connection to the earth. Let us take a few moments of prayer. Often at this time in the service, we engage in a ritual of candles and stones. Because we have another part of the service where we will be moving around in ritual today, we are not going to come forward for candles and stones. After the service, if you like, you are welcome to come forward and drop a stone or light a candle of remembrance. So for now, I invite you to hold in your heart those loved ones who you are thinking about, or those places you are thinking about. Bring them forward right into your heart. And then let's say their names or the names of these places into this space aloud. All those who could use our collective care. I invite you to name them aloud right now. Haiti, Gaza, Malta. Spirit of life, we hold in love all those people, all those places in the world who could use extra support, healing, acknowledgement. We are not our own. We are part of a wide interconnectedness, a wide interconnected aliveness. May we do our part to lessen the burden of others. Amen. Blessed be. People have been gathering to study and pray and practice obedience to God or gods and make meaning of their lives for millennia. And as long as we have been congregating for worship and meaning making, we have been transforming the ways we gather, the places we gather, and the why of our gathering. Some shifts in the ways we do church or mosque or synagogue, meeting house or temple have changed slowly, almost imperceptibly through time. Other transformations have felt like a leap, like in the midst of a global pandemic, when we were all suddenly doing Sunday worship online. The pandemic clearly had a major impact on the way we do church. It is almost expected now that congregations will offer an online version of their Sunday worship, along with virtual classes and social time. Heck, a few years ago, it would have seemed virtually impossible for me to serve as your minister living in a different state. And I'm not saying it's ideal, but it gives us a glimpse into the creative ways we might organize in the future. The pandemic also accelerated trends away from church-going that had already begun. Once people got out of the habit of going to a service on Sunday morning, many people never returned to the practice. Anecdotally, you probably already know this to be true, that in general, people are less connected to religious communities nowadays. They find less pressure to be part of a religious institution. And these anecdotal stories are backed up by research that says that people in the United States seem to be finding less and less value from religious communities. A Pew Research study in 2022 found that a large majority of people had not connected to a spiritual community in the past week, or rarely ever connected to a spiritual community. And most did not claim membership in a faith community. That's a big shift from even a decade ago. We are in interesting liminal times in this country and around the world, a time of in-betweenness between what has been and what might be. And as we navigate this space, we find ourselves operating within familiar systems, like coming to church on a Sunday morning, and also acknowledging that that way we've been doing things might change, is likely to change, needs to change. It might seem strange on a day that we are celebrating being members of this community to talk about signs of change, including the possibility that church structures might change so much that membership itself becomes obsolete. And let's be real, the language of membership feels a bit archaic when we're talking about spiritual communities. Often the first thing you think of when you imagine membership is something more akin to joining NPR or becoming a member of Costco. That form of membership is not exactly inspiring. It's a commodified version of membership. Costco serves a purpose. We pay a yearly fee, and they provide us with reasonably priced bulk food. After we finish shopping, we don't think about Costco. We don't claim pride in our membership unless we're bragging about a deal that we got. And we don't owe them anything. And yet sometimes that's exactly what membership in a spiritual community looks like. In recent years, there has been a push to reframe the meaning of membership in our UU congregations, moving away from the commodity-based image where we leave church after Sunday morning with our car packed with the bulk wisdom and we ignore our membership until next Sunday, to a more integrated form of membership, where all are invited to deepen their connections and involvement in the community, and we practice living Unitarian Universalism throughout the week. Those same studies that say people aren't connecting to religious institutions also point to signs that people are still yearning for meaning-making and depth and opportunities to explore purpose and life's big questions together. For gatherings where they are accountable to one another and pushed to be good humans and good stewards of the earth. People are looking for their religious life to be relatable and more intersecting with their day-to-day lives. Many religious communities have been experimenting with new ways of gathering as they seek to remain relevant. A book published in 2017 on what the authors call divergent church outlined numerous examples of alternative ways of doing religious life. It would be fascinating to see a 2024 version of this book. Lots has changed since 2017. One of the book's authors, Kara Ferris, says, humans have a strong need to make meaning, and they're going to get that need met one way or the other. This book outlined examples from everything from a cowboy church to a farm to table church that literally meets at a farm and does worship over dinner and bakes and sells bread as both a modeling of values and an income source. You might have heard about Wild Church. Anyone heard of Wild Church? It's a connected network of gatherings of people connected to the spirituality of nature. There's a group that gathers in Salt Lake. Wild churches meet outside in a variety of places, and their gatherings center around what they describe as the kindred interconnection of all beings, elements, and places, and to practice relationships rooted in love. Does that sound familiar? There are many exciting examples where we, this congregation, might glean wisdom and insight about how we might shift and change, including Unitarian Universalist communities that are offering experiments in congregating differently. UUCO is actually a perfect place for leaning into the opportunities presented by these changing trends. We already know that we have the ability to shapeshift and to be creative because we are doing it. We've sold our building. We do ministry a little differently here. And we have a core membership that is already committed to this community. In some ways, that gives us the ability to more freely experiment. And we know that there are people in Ogden who might not be looking for religious institutions per se, but they are looking for spaces where they can reflect on what's real and meaningful in life, where they can show up just as they are and ask profound questions and reflect with people of compassion. So how do we support them in feeling connected? What could our institution and membership look like when we aren't bound by the way things have always been done? You might be surprised to know that there isn't actually a lot of information given to us about what we mean by membership. Our bylaws here at this church, our bylaws say that members must be 13 or older, that they must be in sympathy with the purpose of the church, that they should participate in programs of the church, and that they must make an annual contribution of record. It's not a lot to go on. Agree with the purpose, participate, help fund the activities and operations. It's pretty simple, which means that we get to name for ourselves what we mean by membership. It's up to us how we claim our identity as members and how we make relevant the meaning of membership in this community. It's up to us to hold ourselves accountable and through our covenants to make real the agreements that we have to one another about what we're signing on to when we become a member. So I want to offer us some ways of thinking about membership that are more broad and philosophical so that we can loosen our grip on some of the ways that we've historically understood our church and membership and just the structure of how we do Unitarian Universalism here. And for those of you who have been longtime members here, I want to give you the opportunity to reflect on why you became a member here in the first place. As I've been thinking about how we might co-create a meaningful understanding of membership in this community, I am repeatedly drawn to roots as symbol and metaphor. We can find some obvious wisdom from roots. Roots anchor a plant or a tree in taking in nutrients and water. And they anchor the plant, provide the stability needed to keep the plant upright. I think we can see all of those things in our community. As we are thinking about membership in this community, rootedness can be seen as all of the ways that your participation here provides you with the spiritual sustenance for the life journey and the grounding and stability for your continued growth and strength. But I want to lean into the root metaphor a bit more and let it inform our way of thinking about our understanding and our evolution of how we do membership. Until recently, membership in our congregations was geographically based, rooted locally. This is shifting, obviously, in a digital era. In the past, it might have been more common to be a long-time member of a congregation. People tended to locate geographically, and then they would stick around. And if they moved, It was as if the plant had severed from its roots. And while we understand the importance of being close and relationally connected to the communities that we serve, locally rooting ourselves looks different nowadays. We know that sometimes the plants that grow from root systems pop up in unexpected places. If you have grown mint in the ground before, you know what I'm talking about. You know that the rhizomes spread and populate underground rapidly, and that new shoots emerge almost out of nowhere. In our lives, we are often fed by groups and organizations and people and locations that continue to ground us and root us, to stabilize us, even when we are no longer attached in the ways that can be seen on the surface. Our rootedness continues to provide nutrients, if you will, long after we have moved on. And so perhaps the learning is that we must find ways of relating to membership that are less institutionally bound and more based on Unitarian Universalist values more broadly. Roots often symbolize ancestry and history. These historical roots inform who we are and who we are becoming. The roots of this movement, of Unitarians and Universalists and Unitarian Universalists around the world, are part of a liberal religious tradition that spans centuries. Brave people of faith who believe in religious freedom. Some people who literally died to create this religious tradition. Right from the very beginning, our roots, we were questioning interpretations of the Bible. We were daring to question people's assumptions about how God would react to actions humans take in this life. If you imagine the historic taproot of our religious traditions, we are being fed by people who were not afraid to question assumptions, confront so-called truths, and reimagine how we can be more loving with one another. Our heretical roots feed congregations now that commit and recommit to living a life consistent with our Unitarian Universalist values, and to living life as a public witness to this faith every day. With these kinds of historical roots, justice is part of the lifeblood of membership. Membership means we claim a deep, courageous root of care for one another, for the earth, and for all of life. The term root metaphorically means to return to the essence, to the essential. As our religious communities transform and reach the needs of the people and animals and planet in 2024 and beyond, membership in this community means we must respond to what is essential. All those people who are out there looking for meaning making in this world are looking for a community that is relevant, that isn't afraid to wrestle with the real quandaries of our times. Membership in this religious tradition says that you believe in salvation in this life, that you are a part of a community that is here on earth to make life holy and meaningful here and now. And that we're not just signing up to come to church on Sunday mornings, we're pledging to live a life of value and dignity. We're dedicating and rededicating ourselves to support one another and to encourage one another to lives that are worthy. Membership in this community is rooted in what is essential. And we root for one another. Not like rooting at a basketball game, though. I love this quote. Do you all know the author and comedian and poet and fashion icon Alok Menon? Yes? As a gender nonconforming trans public figure in a world where people have no problem spewing hatred, they receive a fair amount of misdirected fear and bigotry. Alok offers a definition of rooting for each other that is compassionate and boundaried. In response to one hateful comment they received, they offered this response. I am rooting for you, but maybe not in the way you imagined. I am rooting for you, they said, meaning I am rooting my feet firmly on this earth with arms wide open, here to welcome you when you're ready to come home. Membership in Unitarian Universalism means rooting for each other. It means grounding in our values and integrity, both for those to whom we love and care, and also in a grounded, firm, unwavering love that lets no others denounce our humanity. Membership here is rooted, drawing sustenance from many sources, fed by the fire of our ancestors, essential, committed, unwavering, and loving. The same study we referenced earlier about the changing reality of religious participation asked, do you think that religion as a whole is increasing its influence on American life or losing its influence? 75% of respondents thought religion was losing influence. I don't know about you, but I don't see that trend. I see signs of religion influencing all kinds of things: bodily autonomy, the ability for doctors to care for people seeking access to health, the ability for parents and teachers to support those in their care. Some forms of religion are most certainly having an impact. Literally, the ways we define what is right and wrong are changing before our eyes, guided by religious beliefs. Membership in this religious tradition, becoming a member at UUCO, means yes, indeed, we are attempting to influence American life through the lens of our values. In this holy space, membership is a role that we define. May we be rooted.
This is a new song called Put Your Roots Down, and so let's sing it 3 times in a row, and just whenever you're feeling comfortable, just join in with us. 1, 2, 1.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening?
I want to invite our board president, Dylan, to come forward and invite Marilyn back up here. We're going to engage in a ritual that we are called a ritual of remembering. For some of us, that will mean connecting to the real meaning of membership for the first time. For some of us, that will mean recommitting to the reason that we joined as a member in the first place. And for some of us, that might mean joining as a member for the very first time today. We're ready? I am going to invite all of you, newcomers, members, friends of this congregation, I invite you to rise in body or spirit. And to find a way, this might get a little clunky and that's okay. I want to invite you to find a way to situate yourselves so that you can see one another. Not at me, at each other. Maybe that means kind of getting in a circle in some sort of way. Choir members, you might have to move a tiny bit. Let's see what we can do together. All right. All right, there's a little hesitancy. You're doing great. As you look around the room, I invite you to take stock of the ways that you are rooted in this community. Can I come share with you up here?
As we recommit to our connection here at UUCO, on the full spectrum of belonging, from newcomer to friend to longtime member, we affirm that we are in a moment of transition in this community. As our congregation has shifted and changed, as we weathered a global pandemic, as we sold our building and moved to this new space, today, we offer a new beginning of sorts. We commit anew to this sacred community. In a moment, we will offer you the opportunity to verbally recommit, remember, if you will. And then all members, those who have been part of this community for a long time, and those joining for the first time today, will be invited to sign a new membership. On the cover of this new book is a tree, reminding us of the many ways that we might reimagine this rooted community.
As you face each other, and those of you online, I invite you to put your video on, get your picture on the screen so that you can see each other on the screen as well. I'll be inviting each of you to have a role in the celebration of remembering. Those are who are connected but are not formally members. Those are who are already members, and those are who are just joining today. Meaning, don't worry. If you're not a member, that's okay. We want you to be a part of this community and informing the community. If you've been a longtime member, you are part of this remembering. And if you are a newcomer who is ready to join, you are also a part of this ritual. As we engage in the ritual, I am going to invite you to respond with "we do" as you feel called to do so. And those online, you might write in the chat, "we do" or "I do." Ready? First one's for newcomers. Newcomers and those connected but not formally members, we hope that you feel connected and encouraged to build roots here in ways that feel meaningful to you. Do you commit to reaching out when you find that you could use more support, more integration, when you have more questions? Do you commit to your role in connecting here? And if you do, please say, "we do."
Members of UUCO, do you commit to striving to live into the covenant we have with one another, to commit to rooting in this community, and to ensuring that we are a congregation that defines membership in ways that include and integrate those inside our walls and beyond? Do you commit to responding with openness and welcome to all those newcomers and new members in our midst?
Those who are joining today, we welcome you. Do you commit to bringing your full loving self to this community and to supporting the depth of meaning of membership, the rootedness of this community to the best of your ability?
I now invite all members to come forward to sign our book. Those who are joining for the first time today, I invite you to come forward first. There's a spot for your name, a signature, and the date. If you're joining for the first time today, please write the date. If not, if you're a longtime member, just leave the date blank. And if you're joining us online and you'd like to sign the book, please type your name into the chat and you can sign the book the next time you're here.
New members, will you come forward? And yeah, it's going to be clunky, and that's okay.
All right, thank you all so much for joining us or remembering today. And I'd like to issue a particular welcome and thank you to our new members, Carlessa Bird, Nitai Wilson, and Tom DeSantis.
Friends, members, newcomers, all. May we co-create the kind of member here that is rooted and rooting, transforming our planet through our strength, courage, and vulnerability.
We're so grateful to be in a community where we can share our resources to live out our vision in the world. Our offering each Sunday is a testament to the value of this community and our lived values. We will now receive this offering. rise in body or voice and face the center aisle. Sing together the offering song printed in your order of service. Thank you for giving. This offering helps this church. Helps us in our effort to improve the world in big ways and small. After the service today, please join us in the First Presbyterian Church's fellowship hall that's across the campus. Enjoy Scottish, Irish music and good food at this interfaith gathering after our Sunday service. And Chalice, I believe, has an announcement. You come forward.
Good morning. As the environmental ministry point of contact for UUCO, I'd just like to update you all. So the Weber County is planning a 9,000 acre inland port in between two protected bird sanctuaries. And unfortunately, they started out doing 900 acre, and now they want to do 9,000 acres. And they've been kind of trying to keep this on the down low. They don't want people to know it because they know the uproar because the Great Salt Lake is already in trouble anyways. And they are going to be planning on funding this very expensive filling in of wetlands and whatnot using taxpayer dollars. The Inland Port Commission, the State Inland Port Commission is planning on using our tax dollars for this sort of fool's investment. So there is a letter that is being signed online to request meetings with the Weber County Commissioners. They are going to be doing a vote on March 28th, I believe. They have not announced the time or the location of this vote. They're being very sneaky about this. And so there, if you go into the UUCO community Facebook page, I have provided the link where you can sign a letter requesting that they actually hold public meetings, or they're demanding a public meeting about this particular issue. And so that's gone on our Facebook page. And we ask that if you want to sign this petition requesting audience, that it be signed by the 20th of March. Yes, Suzanne.
So
Mhm.
could you give that information to Mary Ann and she can put it in?
Yeah, I can do that as well. She can. Yeah. So some folks don't do Facebook, and so I will provide Mary Ann the link, and then she can send it out to the congregation as well. Okay. Any other questions? No, thank you guys.
Thank you, Chalice. Are there any other announcements? Karen? Please come, Karen, please come up here because the people online can't hear unless you speak into the microphone.
Just in case you're thinking of skipping coffee time and the potluck, please come over anyway because our Girl Scout troop is selling cookies today. And this Sunday and next Sunday will be your last opportunity to buy Girl Scout cookies this year. So please take advantage of that. It really helps our little troop, which is co-sponsored by this church and First Presbyterian. Thank you.
We do the closing song. It's Put Your Roots Down.
So we will sing the whole thing through so you can hear the tune one more time. I was glad to see people joining in. And the second time, let's make it good and rowdy and you can improvise your own harmonies. Here we go. So if you can give us 3 beats.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. The sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. If you hear the earth sing, if you listen. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening?
Are you listening? Two more times. Are you listening?
Are you listening?
As the service comes to an end, join me in saying the chalice extinguishing words in your order of service.
We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action.
Go forth, friends, knowing that even when you leave this space, you draw sustenance from this community. May you take from here the nutrients, stability, and strength for all that life brings, so that we may be more humble, more compassionate, more wise, more courageous, and more human. Go in love.
Thank you.